see them, the GPs don't know to send them to us. So I think it's still something that during the meetings I'm going to be having at Chatfield and the Hyder practice, still something I need to reiterate with them.
Okay, so why is it when people are discharged, how do you get to know as a PCP practitioner?
I mean, luckily I would say I would get to know via the GP or I have had a couple of clients kind of emailed to me from someone from the CMHT, which has been great, and Kurt's been in those emails too. So either there are, I mean, on some occasions that does happen, which is great, which I wish would happen in all the cases. If that doesn't happen via the CMHTs, it doesn't happen via the GPs, it's just me looking through the patients from the entire list that I have and stumbling across one and looking and think, oh, he's been discharged, okay. And so then I'll call him right away, but that would be me possibly looking through 200 clients on the off chance that something's changed and they've been discharged. So that's not, I don't think that's a good way to ensure that people are seen on time.
So what do you think is the solution for that?
So I think hopefully if Kurt is able to get this weekly list of all clients being discharged, it will then be very clear, and he can obviously send that information around to the whole team, and so everyone knows who are the discharges for this week, if there is any, and it's very clear. And if I'm sure that information is available in the trust. I'm sure that information is collated somewhere, and I think it just needs to be sent to Kurt for him to kind of let us know.
So as it is now, you don't know who compiles the list of discharges and from where?
So Kurt gave me two names of people. I can't remember the two guys he mentioned, but they said that they would be able to get a list to him. It's more of an issue in a bigger surgery like Brocklebank, which is one of the main ones. That's why I had the meeting with them first. But in a smaller surgery like the Hyder practice, for example, I have a very good link with the main doctor, Dr. Hyder, and she informs me, she emails me about every single patient she's concerned about, and I'm sure she would know if any single one of them was discharged, and she's very aware. So I don't think that's an issue there, actually. It's Chatfield and Brocklebank, because those are the two large ones. And I don't know every doctor very well. I maybe know them in passing, and it's easy to miss clients if you've got a list of over 200.
So, what proportion of the GPs would you say are still not aware or properly aware of the PCP service?
Well, I hope all of them at Brocklebank now. I've had my second meeting there. Dr. Coffey is instrumental in this service, so I hope that he has been talking to everyone. I planned to have a very kind of informative meeting with admin at Brocklebank as well, because I know admin well enough to try and figure out, but the thing is they're always changing, so to figure out who is responsible for kind of receiving letters and just kind of documenting them on emails that they've been received. Whoever's in charge of that process needs to know that if it's a discharge summary from a CMHT, that sort of thing, not from a ward to a CMHT, but from a CMHT back to primary care, then to notify me. And I think the same thing needs to happen in Chatfield, and I'm in the process of organising a meeting with them, another kind of evaluation, like a review meeting.
Thank you. So what process is in place for you to be able to meet the requirements for you to support clients who are on depot injections within 3 months?
Actually, that's just in Brocklebank, because in Hyder practice there are none. In Chatfield, there are some, but those patients are under CMHT, so they're sort of managed by CMHTs. In Brocklebank, they do administer depots actually in the practice. So I have been able to kind of, on population reporting on EMIS, there's a way to generate a report of everyone on depot. So it's very clear there's not too many, and that's manageable. There's enough patients there for me to see very clearly who I've met, who I haven't, and I've invited all of them to come in for a review anyway.
Okay. Okay, so what support is in place to help you to achieve the target of seeing everyone on the SMI register in your surgeries once a year? What support is in place for you to meet that? Yeah.
I have the list of everyone on the register. On the GP quaff list, there are people who have been separated into those that have been seen by a GP and had their annual health check and those that haven't. So it's been put to my attention, especially recently, because they're reaching the end of their year as well, which is the same as ours, that the people that haven't been reviewed or need to be by the end of March, they need to be seen. And I know who those patients are. So the way that they have organised their lists on EMIS makes it very clear who I have to see for a review. Yeah.
So is it for all the 3 surgeries?
No. Yeah. So in each of the 3 surgeries, they have that list with the people that need to be seen for their annual checks.
Okay. Thank you. What helps you to help service users to better reconnect with their families and communities?
So, in terms of when I see people, when I've invited people and I've invited them and in the letter it states to bring their family member carer, that's great because they come along and they're fully involved from the start. In all aspects of the kind of recovery plan, goal setting, everything, and they support them to get to places as well, whether that's transport, whether it's just moral support if they're, they don't like getting on trains or buses. So yeah, it's very beneficial. But for those that don't bring someone along, it's difficult because I do emphasise the importance of having someone there. And it's a battle because they also don't want to burden their carers, relatives. They just don't want to be a burden. That's come up a lot. Even when sisters, mothers, fathers have asked to come, they've refused to have them there. And also that kind of, on one hand, they feel that that's a burden on their family and they want to be seen as independent and they can do their they can go to their appointments, they don't need anyone's support. And on the other hand, it could be in relation to trust issues. They don't trust their family, and that links back to maybe paranoia. Sometimes people have experienced paranoia, and I've spoken to family members on the phone, and they've said, "I really wish I could come, but every time I say, I'd like to come take you," they said, "Well, if you're coming, I'm not going." So it's very difficult to always have that support.
Okay, what do you think we could do in that regard?
I've said that I could. So one of the GPs have asked as well. They've asked this question whether I could meet the carers separately and book an appointment just with the carer and give the carer some kind of information in regards to how to support their family member and give them details, obviously, of Sinead, the carer centre, all the support that's on offer for them so that they can better support their family member without obviously divulging into all their personal information. And then another option is to kind of ask the client maybe if they could bring their family member carer. They could have them in for part of the appointment and they could leave for another part, So it doesn't have to be that they are involved in all of it if that's not what they want. So I think having those options maybe would be better.
Okay. Thank you for that. I've got a question here about, what that says what helps you to effectively log your practice.
Log?
Yeah.
I think EMIS. We don't use Rio, so EMIS is the only system where we really document anything on, and it's very. I think I've become very used to it now. There is support for us in terms of how to use it. We've had support from Dipan, Kurt's contact. I've had support from other members of staff in the practice, and we are learning as we go along. But I think it's very good for documentation. And in terms of coding, we've got used to using codes and things so that we can generate reports. And we're still